Hello again. Whenever a government is looking unpopular or wishes to distract our attention and make us think about something else, or wants us to do as we're told, it is always a sound strategy to threaten the population with imminent death. COVID was useful in that way, and I doubt if the government would have been able to abolish money so readily and force us all to use our debit cards and mobile telephones to pay for things, had it not been able to claim that banknotes and coins would make you ill and put your life in danger from a mysterious virus. In recent years, though, the most popular way of menacing us and getting us to accept things without question has been the supposed threat of terrorism. With by-elections looming tomorrow, Home Secretary Suella Braverman was using this gambit on Tuesday and claiming that the danger from terrorist attacks was growing. She warns that the risk from terrorism in the UK continues to evolve and is increasing. And she also unveiled her strategy to tackle terrorism. I give a link in the description to this video to a news piece about Braverman's statement. This is, of course, calculated to put the wind up us and draw our attention away from the illegal immigrants who are still swarming across the English Channel. It is also intended to make the government look as though it's on the ball and determined to protect us from those villainous bombers. This is done in the vain hope that it might discourage voters from casting their ballots for Labour on Thursday. Finally, of course, the aim is to be a little bit of advertising for Braverman personally, as she is jockeying for position with a view to the next general election, when the Tories will be massacred and Rishi Sunak deposed as leader of the party. Braverman thinks that she would make a good Prime Minister. Heaven help us all. And it's no bad idea to start setting out your pitch early. Let's just put the threat of terrorism in perspective. In the last 10 years, 44 people have been killed by terrorist attacks in this country. In that same period, over 15,000 people were killed in road accidents. That is to say, 340 times as many people were killed by motorists over those 10 years as were blown up, run over or stabbed to death by terrorists. Even cows were responsible for twice as many deaths as terrorists. By which it may be seen that terrorism is not really a significant threat to life in this country. It is a dramatic and emotive subject, though, and few people ever bother to weigh up the actual chances of dying like that, and so it can be brandished as an ever-present risk to life and limb. Viewers might have noticed how mention of the danger of terrorism often occurs at a time when the government is not very popular or wishes us not to dwell on something which they are doing, or indeed failing to do. Who can forget Theresa May, a terribly unpopular Prime Minister, calling out the military at a time when her approval ratings were falling? This too was on the grounds of the danger from terrorism, and very impressive it was too. The images of heavily armed troops patrolling the streets of central London 6 years ago was an arresting one, and certainly took our minds off what a hopeless leader we had in Downing Street at that time. Whenever a member of the government makes a statement on terrorism, it is always a good idea to ask yourself why they are really doing so. The actual threat of death in an attack is now, and always has been in Britain, minuscule, and so such announcements are invariably nothing at all to do with keeping the population safe. There is always an ulterior motive for mentioning the subject.